Are there any type of like religious classes in the Dillon Center?
No, and that's because we welcome everyone. We are Catholic-based, but we talk about all kinds of religion. We leave no one out, no gender or anything or religion. And so we talk, and we have parents coming in and talk to us, about Passover, about Hanukkah. We had Muslim parents come in and they did Ramadan with us. And it's so wonderful because it's wonderful for my education. And it's wonderful for the children because it teaches diversity, it teaches respect, it teaches love, it teaches all the things that our mission is all about. Love of God and love of neighbor.
I think it's so good that you incorporate that into the Dillon Center.
Yes, we're very fortunate.
That goes hand in hand with the ACES program as well. That also tries to merge the diversity of the college.
It's beautiful.
Right. The new clubs on campus as well, Asian Awareness Club, that also tries to bridge the different cultures that are present at the college. Were you here at the Holy event that the students were throwing colors at each other?
Yes, it was fun.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun.
And she was scared of getting caught.
Yes.
So it's such a beautiful, experience to see the different diversities while keeping our tradition.
That's right. If I could just go back to the babes, I call them the babes, the children for a minute. It's one of the things I just did with them. We have a tree house now in our classroom that the parents built with the grandpa, and somebody brought in fresh eggs from a farm. And so some were brown and some were tan and some were white. And so we looked at it. And I said to them, we looked at the colors on the outside, and then I said, do you think that the brown eggs will be brown on the inside? And will the tan eggs be tan? And will the white eggs be white? Yes. I said, let's find out. So we opened one at a time, and we looked, and they said, now, of course, they see the brown, so they think it looks different. Now, you know that brown eggs do not look different on the inside. I said, okay. So I took them all, and we scrambled them all together. And I said, and so now tell me, which is the brown one, which is the tan one, which is the white one? And they couldn't tell. And I said, it's just like us. We're all different on the outside, but the same on the inside. And then we painted our skin with skin tone paint because some child said she was white. And I said, okay, let's see if you're white. And we took a piece of paper and we put it next to her skin. And I said, are you white? She said, no. I said, let's find out what color you are. And she turned out to be a peach. So who was a peach and who was chocolate and who was toast and who was almond? Again, to bring in that diversity, that respect for all people. It's what's inside that counts, part of the mission. It's what's inside that counts.
Also, as ACES student myself, I'd like to know what inspired the founding of the ACES program and how did this affect promoting diversity on campus and the student admissions process?
Well, you could probably talk about that better than I can because you're there. Are you also, Jessie? Yes.
An ACES student, yes.
An ACES student. That really began as a combination of our desire to diversify the population, precisely, and to increase our student body. And we realized that there were a number of very bright, gifted young men and women out there who would prosper in a place like St. Joseph's, which is small, student-centered, and would provide them with the kinds of opportunity and backup that would enable them to succeed. And I have to credit Sister Margaret Buckley with having the idea. She didn't name it ACES. One of the alumni named it ACES because we had a little ad hoc committee of women who had been very successful in the public school system. They were superintendents or principals. So we brought them together and said, how would you do this if you were doing it? And so they gave us some suggestions, and we kind of used most of them. And one of the suggestions was to call it the ACES program, so you would all think that you were ACES, which is a good thing to be. So that's really, it was a very simple effort. It started small, and then we were fortunate enough to have a benefactor, Dick Dunn from California, and his wife Mary Grace Calhoun Dunn, had died very suddenly and very recently, and he was bereft, really. So I knew that he wanted to do something to remember her here at her alma mater. So I went to him with the suggestion that he might endow, or at least give the startup funds for this program, and he loved the idea. So that's how we put together the idea, which came from a whole bunch of people, and we got the startup funds, and then of course since then we've been continuing to try to support it through fundraising and just keeping it going.
Talking about programs, there are some programs that apport to diversity. One of them is the ACES program, which we are part of. We just wanted to know what inspired the founding of ACES, and how did this affect promoting diversity on campus and the student admission process?
Well, I think ACES, Sister Margaret Buckley is really the authority on ACES. She was the academic dean. But certainly I was, in a minor way, involved. She did all the work. But we were beginning to have some students, the diversity had begun, and we had some students from other countries coming to us as 18-year-olds, coming out, they had come to this country, they were going either through the New York elementary school system, or some of them came in high school. I don't know in what year you came. In high school. And so they came, they were bright, they were interested, a number of them from Asia, and a number of them from Latin America. But as they came, the problem was with their ability to keep up with the reading. It wasn't a matter of intelligence, that was clear. And so we had the students before we had the program. And as we began to see that we had 10, 15 students who needed help, and they needed it systematically from people who were prepared to give it, and our regular faculty were not prepared to help students of a second language. And so we advertised, and Sidel Brooks, who had been teaching for some time down in the community college downtown here, and had worked with students who were speaking English as a second language. And she came and started the program and set it up, and then Mick Lawson came and joined her, and we've had others since then. And the program continued to grow. But the students had come first, and therefore the need to provide for them and to help them systematically to do well. And that's what had us develop the ACES program.
We're very, very grateful for that.
Well, Sister Margaret has a very soft spot for the ACES program.
My office in secondary education used to be right opposite the ACES Center. So I became very friendly with them all. And I used to be so impressed when I would walk in and see, like, especially on Friday, which is sort of a light day on campus, not in ACES, because students, I guess, didn't have a lot of classes. They would come for individual one-on-one work. And I think if you're trying to improve someone's writing, one-on-one is really the best way to do it. And they also hired a number of tutors to work with them. And Mick was very fussy about the tutor. He wanted the right kind of people, who would have respect for the students, be reliable, work hard, and I think he succeeded. I should also mention that the husband of an alumna, I wrote down her name, Mary Grace Calhoun gave a big donation, and that's why the center is, her picture is hanging in there someplace, and her name is over the door, Mary Grace Calhoun Dunn. So the center is named after her. But I think other donors have contributed. I know Steve Summers, another, he's a graduate himself, and he's contributed to scholarships for ACES students. Of course, it's kind of easy to sell the program to benefactors because it's so clear that it's a wonderful program and really serves a real need. And I think the students over the years have generally appreciated it. Some of them have gone on to spectacular achievements, medical school, graduate school, all kinds of wonderful things, because now they work very hard. I think my observation of them in there is that they work very hard, right? You know, they work very hard. The tutors work hard, but the students work hard too. And they therefore grow greatly over the whole, because I think the course used to just be 1 year courses. And then I think they've extended it now into sophomore year. And then the tutoring, I think, is always available to you for 4 years. And so, anyway, I'm a big fan of the ACES program.